Good evening, this is Chuck W3ON. I'm operating as W3OC net control for the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club net. This radio net meets every Monday here at 8 p.m. on the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club repeater system operating on 147.12 and 442.250 megahertz, and we're also on Echolink. Membership in the Two Rivers ARC is not required to check into this net. All radio amateurs are welcome. If you'd like information about the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club, you can write to us at P.O. Box 225, Greenock, PA, zip code 15047. We're also on the Internet's World Wide Web at https://trarc.org and also on Facebook. Radio Club meetings are held on the third Tuesday of every month except in December, starting at 7 p.m. at the Blainville Volunteer Fire Department Social Hall, 409 Oxford Avenue, Elizabeth, PA. People helping us after check-ins in emergency or priority traffic at this time. Check-ins here in a moment. Please, when checking into the net, keep your call sign slowly and phonetically. When you spell out your call sign, let me know if you have any announcements or comments for the net. Okay, at this time, I'm going to take a standby. Anybody on Echolink who wishes to check in?
W3OC, this is November 3, Alpha Hotel Charlie, Antonio here in Pittsburgh on Echolink. Good evening to you, Chuck, and everybody else on the net. I have no traffic at this time.
This is Kilo Charlie 3, Zulu India X-Ray, Jeff in Irwin.
Okay, that time I got November 3 Alpha Hotel Charlie on Echolink, Kilo Charlie 3 Zulu India X-Ray on Echolink. Anybody else on Echolink? Alright, okay. Now I'm looking for stations that are operating I'm looking for stations that are operating from that are members of the board of directors. Anybody from the board of directors calling up?
W3OC. 3OC, please recognize Kilo Bravo 3 Sugar Tango, Bob in Elizabeth Township. Evening, Chuck. Evening to the net. No traffic.
3OC. Please recognize November 3, Juliet, Hotel Bravo Portable, out here in Pleasant Hills, along with Kilo Bravo 3 Whiskey Papa and Whiskey 3 Delta Tango Papa. Good evening to everybody on the net. Merry New Year. Happy New Year. Merry New Year. No other messages.
Okay, got Kilo Bravo 3 Sugar Tango, November 3 Juliet Hotel Bravo Portable, and he has Kilo Bravo 3 Whiskey Papa and Whiskey 3 Delta Tango Papa with him. Okay, anybody else from the board of directors wishing to check in?
Net control. Net control, recognize Kilo 3 Charlie Romeo Oscar John Baldwin, no comments, no traffic.
We got Kilo 3 Charlie Radio Oscar. Anybody else from the board of directors? All right, now I'm looking for stations that are operating mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County.
W3OC. Please welcome Alpha 3 Mike Romeo, AA3MR. Name is Walt, mobile here, Clarton. Good evening to you, Chuck, and everybody on the net. Hope everyone had a happy new year. No comments. Stay warm, everybody.
W3OC. W3OC, please copy Kilo Alpha 3 Yankee Golf Lima, Bruce in South Carnesville, Fayette County. Good evening, Chuck. Good evening to the net. No further comments. Back to net.
W3OC. Here's Kilo Bravo 3 Victor Sierra Papa, Dan, Beaver County. Good evening, Chuck. Good evening to the net.
3OC. Please recognize November 3 Tango Alpha Uniform That's N3TAU Norman Penn, Portable, Westmoreland County. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to our Serbian friends.
Is 3OC. This is Kilo Alpha 3, Kilo Echo Victor, Portable, Dennis and Plum. Good evening to you, everybody on the net.
Hey, thank you. I got Alpha 3 Mike Radio Mobile, Kilo Alpha 3 Yankee Golf Lima, Kilo Bravo 3 Victor Sierra Papa, November 3 Tango Alpha Uniform, and Kilo Alpha 3 Kilo Echo Victor Portable. Anybody else, mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County?
3OC. Please copy Kilo Alpha 3 Foxtrot Whiskey Quebec, Jeff in Greensburg. Good evening, everyone.
Okay, Kilo Alpha 3 Fox Whiskey Quebec. Anybody else, mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County? Now open up for general check-ins. Anyone else call on?
W306, Whiskey Alpha 3, Oscar Uniform.
W3OC. Whiskey Alpha 3, Bravo Oscar Juliet, Ted Squirrel Hill. Good evening, you Chuck. Good evening, Net. No traffic.
W3OC. Here is Kilo 3 Hotel India Romeo, Merle and Elizabeth Township.
KD3GYF, Portable Radio, Early.
Here's what I got. I got Whiskey America 3 India Oscar Uniform, Whiskey America 3 Bravo Oscar Japan, Kilo 3 Hotel India Radio, and I think I heard Kilo Charlie 3 Golf Yankee Mexico. Is that correct? All right, let's continue on. Anybody else wishing to check in, call now.
W3OC. This is Kilo Alpha 3, Kilo Sierra Papa, Jim and Carnegie. W3OC. W3OC, please copy Whiskey 3 Sierra Hotel Foxtrot, Steve and Pitcairn, up on the windy, snow-covered hill. Good evening, Chuck, and everyone on the net. W3OC. This is Whiskey 3 OIE, Mitchell and Glassport. No traffic. Good evening, Chuck. Good evening, everybody.
Hey, let's see. Here's what I got so far. I got, not sure where I left all that. Whiskey America 3 India Oscar Uniform, Whiskey America 3 Bravo Oscar Japan, Kilo 3 Hotel India Radio, Kilo Charlie 3 Golf Yankee Mexico, Kilo Alpha 3 Kilo Sugar Papa, Whiskey 3 Sierra Hotel Fox, and Whiskey 3 Oscar India Echo. Anybody else?
W3OC. Please copy Kilo Bravo 3 Oscar X-Ray Hotel.
Okay, Kilo Bravo 3 Oscar X-Ray Hotel. Anybody else? We'll take a stop there. Thank you all for taking the time to check in this evening on this very snowy night outside and pretty cool temperatures too. Hope everybody's doing okay and not getting slammed too much with all the weather. I know my driveway's kind of a mess, but the streets are clear, which is a good thing, at least in my area over here in West Mifflin. Okay. Let's see. Do we have any listings of silent keys? Any radio amateurs have recently passed away? haven't heard anything since last week, but okay, thank you. Okay, here's some general announcements regarding the Two Rivers activities. We have other radio nets that meet during the course of the week. There's a total of 4. This is one of them. The next one is on Wednesday night. It's called the Gap Net. It meets on this repeater system, 147.12, 440, 2250, plus on Echo Link. That's a social net. You're welcome to join us for that. Starts at 8:30 p.m. Thursday nights on the 10-meter band at 28,460 kilohertz. Starts at I think it's 9 o'clock, I believe. No, I got the time wrong. I think it's 8 o'clock. And on the 10-meter band, and also on Friday nights at 6 p.m. on 40 meters on 7215 kilohertz. Of course, frequencies are subject to change depending on band activity. So those are just the radio nets. Okay, we also have a Hams and Eggs breakfast that's held on the second Saturday of each month at 9:30 a.m. We use a local restaurant for that. It's called the Hams and Eggs breakfast, is what we call it. Currently, we're using the Rock Run Inn at Butler's Golf Course for that. And then on the second Thursday of each month, we have a thing called the Operations Night. That's again social gathering. We get on the air on HF. Starts at 7 p.m. on Thursday evenings. On the second Thursday, we're currently using the Lincoln Borough Volunteer Fire Department Social Hall for that. You're welcome to join us for that. We get on here and operate on HF, and sometimes we have instructional things going on too. So you're welcome to join us for that. If you want to try some HF, you can. We operate usually 40 through 10 with that. Okay, that's some activities. We also participate in several HF operating events, including the Winter Field Day, which is coming up on January 25th and 26th. That's a 2-day affair, and the radio club is going to be operating at Lincoln Borough Volunteer Fire Department for that. I'm not sure what the time it starts, but usually those things start in the evening around I think around 7 o'clock, and they run for 2 days. So we'll be at the Lincoln Borough Volunteer Fire Department Social Hall, 4312 Liberty Way, Elizabeth, PA. You're welcome to join us for that. And of course, we participate in the ARL Field Day in late June. Other activities, we do have a Ham Fest. It's coming up. The Two Rivers Ham Fest is coming up on April the 6th. Let me get the flyer here. At the Lincoln Borough Volunteer Fire Department Social Hall, 4312 Liberty Way, Elizabeth, PA. That's a change of location. This is actually our 53rd annual amateur radio / computer show. So you get a chance to come out there for that. Mobile directions and mobile checking will be on 147.12 megahertz on the repeater system here. We're going to have a typical Hamfest table rentals. The surprises are on the flyer. The prizes listed so far: an Ixugu G90 HF 20-watt transceiver plus battery or cash, Yaesu FTM 500D C4FM FM transceiver or cash, or Yaesu FT70DR a digital handheld or cash, and a portable generator. Of course, there'll be other things too added to that list, plus the usual what do you call it? Entrance ticket kind of things. Amateur radio exams are scheduled for that morning. The person for contact is Mike Kilo Victor 3 Lima. You should contact him at 412-751-9657. 412-751-9657 to get registered for that. Some of the radio club activities. Let's see what's coming up on the calendar. January 11th is a Hamfest. It's called Winterfest in Harrisburg, PA. Also on the 11th is the Wires Association of South Hills 2-meter contest. 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's on simplex only in the 2-meter band. No repeaters, all mode. Sideband, AM, FM, digital. Okay, they have a rules and stuff up on their website, n3sh.org. On January 18th, this was recently announced, January at 9:30 a.m., the ARS is having a meeting at the Pittsburgh Red Cross building at 2801 Liberty Avenue in Pittsburgh, PA. That's on the 18th. And, of course, I just mentioned the winter field day, the 25th and 26th. Getting into February 23rd is the Wires Association of South Hills Amfest. Over there in South Park, here in Allegheny County, of course, 3735 Buffalo Drive, South Park Township. Our first exam session for the Radio Club's exam team will be on March 11th. That's at 6:30 p.m. at the Elder McKeesport High School, Eden Park Boulevard, and also to contact KV3L to get registered for that. We're going to run a series of radio classes starting on April the 17th through May 22nd. 6 classes will be for technician amateur radio class licenses, again at Lincoln Borough Volunteer Fire Department. So we have more information on that to be announced. Okay. I don't see anything else that's coming. With that, I'm going to take a standby. Does anybody need repeats for anything they've heard? This W3OC. Okay, looking at the world of DX, things are still hopping pretty well on the HF bands. Hope you're getting a chance to participate in that kind of stuff. The ARL DX bulletin came out on January 2nd, and it has, let's see, some of the highlights include Guinea, that's in Africa, 80 through 6 meters, call sign 3X1 Alpha, Lesotho, is 7 Papa 8 Alpha Bravo and 7 Papa 8 November Bravo until mid-2025. So I guess that's like a permanent one. Maldives, Guyana are some of the ones that are listed. Let's see, what else? Singapore. To commemorate the 60th anniversary of Singapore's independence, all members of the Singapore Amateur Radio Society, Transmitting Society, may substitute the prefix S60 for their usual 9 Victor 1 prefix. It goes on to August 9th of this year. Trinidad and Tobago is also on. Gambia, Scotland. Let's see, what's this one here? Something to celebrate the bicentenary of the invention of the Braille Code. It's January 4th to the 31st. That's call sign Golf Mexico 3 Whiskey United X-Ray. Tumotu Province, Hotel 40 prefix. Hotel 40 Alpha from Pigeon Island. It's active until January the 16th at 80, 40, 20, 15, 12, and 10, and using sideband. Costa Rica, Cameroon, Turks and Caicos, India, Cayman Islands, Zulu, Fox, True, Bravo, Japan, from January 5th to the 17th, activity holiday style. I mean, they operate when they want to, while they're on vacation, on the HF bands, using mostly CW. Okay, that's kind of what I got from the world of DX. Of course, if you're on FT8, always check the usual FT8 frequencies for activity. Of course, if you're not on FT8, that's another thing too. But activities has been pretty good. I would think 10 meters normally opens up about mid-morning if you're interested in 10 meters, and stays open probably through the good balance of the day, I guess. With that, I'm going to take a standby. Does anybody need to repeat for anything they've heard? This is W3OC. Okay, all right. Well, let me put the switches. Let's see what Newsline's got tonight.
Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2462 with the release date of Friday, January 3rd, 2025. to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. A solar probe touches the untouchable in space. The CQDX Marathon is back. And hear the winning entry in the 2024 Amateur Radio Newsline Haiku Challenge. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2462 comes your way right now. From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's first independent on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now reporting from Charleston, West Virginia, here's Jim Dameron, NATMW. The Parker Solar Probe, launched by NASA in 2018, ended 2024 by nearly touching the untouchable, the Sun. We hear more from Travis Lisk, N3ILS.
On Christmas Eve, December 24th, NASA's solar probe set a record by flying 3.86 million miles, or 6.1 million kilometers, from the Sun. That approach made the small probe the first and fastest object created by humans to come that close to the Sun, according to a report in Forbes magazine. Its speed was clocked at 430,000 miles per hour, the equivalent of 692,000 kilometers per hour. Nicola Fox, NASA's Associate Administrator for Science Missions, said in a Christmas Eve video that the probe had achieved the very mission it was intended for, with its unprecedented flight so close to the Sun. This solar pass came as the probe made its 22nd approach since its launch more than 6 years ago. The probe is well shielded for this latest plunge into the Sun. More than 4 years ago, it entered one of the most powerful coronal mass ejections ever recorded, according to NASA. This is Travis Lisk, N3ILS.
In the U.S., the Handyham program ended 2024 by reporting on gains and successes in its services and initiatives to disabled amateur radio operators. We hear about them from Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
The Handyham program, which has served the disabled ham community since 1967, ended 2024 with a progress report to its supporters and on its website outlining gains in its journey. The year included a number of new classes held virtually, including one in basic Morse code and another for technician class candidates. Handyham said that its radio club also achieved gains, reaching a milestone membership level of 158. The Handyham program itself welcomed 65 new participants. Program coordinator Lucinda Moody, AB8WF, summed up the year by calling it, quote, a year of achievement and expansion, end quote. For more details about the program, visit handyham.org. That's HANDIHAM.org. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
It isn't just January, it's Straight Key Month, and Randy Sly, W4XJ, is here to tell us about what that means.
Calling all CW operators. January is the month to put your paddle in the drawer and dust off your straight key. If you have cooties or bugs in your ham shack, you can use them too. It's time for the 19th annual Straight Key Month, hosted by the Straight Key Century Club. Throughout the month, you'll be able to work K3Y stations in all the U.S. call areas, including Hawaii, Alaska, and Puerto Rico. In addition, stations from regions within the IARU membership in Africa, Asia, Europe, North America, Oceania, and South America will also be on the air. Taking their cue from the ARRL's long-running Straight Key Night every January 1st, the SKCC extends the event from the 2nd to the 31st of the month. Whether you're a seasoned operator or just beginning your CW journey, you'll find Straight Key Month to be a great deal of fun while increasing your skills. Information for this event can be found at skccgroup.com/K3Y. This is Randy Sly, W4XJ.
An influential ham in the amateur radio community in Delaware has become a silent key. We hear more about him from Cell Impey, KB3TZD.
In 2005, Joseph Henry Stormer, W3TL, returned to amateur radio, the hobby he had loved as a teenager. He quickly deepened his involvement in both ham radio and the community. Joe joined the Sussex Amateur Radio Association in 2006 and became its president a year later. He also belonged to the Amateur Radio Lighthouse Society, the OM International Sideband Society, and served as an assistant emergency coordinator for the Amateur Radio Emergency Service of the ARRL. He was a team leader for the BB Hospital's Amateur Radio Operators Room. As a volunteer examiner, Joe was also a team leader of the Delaware Amateur Radio Testing Team and certified volunteer examiner with the Laurel Amateur Radio Club. He let hams and prospective hams throughout Delaware know they were always welcome to contact him to arrange for a licensing exam. According to his online obituary, he became ill last year. Joe died on December 22nd. He was 80. This is Sel Emby, KB3, TZD.
The Jackson Butts County Public Library in Georgia is QRV, a collection of 11 amateur radio books donated a month ago by the Amateur Radio Club of Butts County, has been entered into the library system and was placed on the shelves recently for circulation. This is the latest partnership in the U.S. of amateur radio clubs and their local libraries. Library manager Kathy Kelly told Newsline that the donation was made through the efforts of Buzz Kutcher, K3GWK, and Nancy Phillips, K4NEP, from the club. The volumes include technical books, licensing guides, and regulations from the Federal Communications Commission. Kathy told Newsline, "We are hoping they will be useful to many. They're ready to go." Lace up your running shoes and sit down in your shack and get ready for an on-the-air marathon that encourages operators to go the distance through December 2025. Jack Parker, W8ISH, shares the details.
The CQDX Marathon is back, and just as the marathon for 2024 comes to an end, the new one has begun. Avid DXers are already on the hunt through the end of December, hoping to work as many countries and CQ zones as possible. The idea, of course, is to see who can work the most countries or DX entities and CQ zones by the time 2359 rolls around on December 31st. Keep in mind that contacts through repeaters and satellites do not count, nor do contacts with aeronautical mobile or maritime stations. Only the use of amateur radio frequencies is permitted. Organizers made some changes in mid-December to rules that affect the awards, operating class, and youth participation. For a full description of the rules and who is affected, see the link in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. This is Jack Parker, W8ISH.
Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the Tryon Amateur Radio Club's K2JJI 2-meter repeater in Gloversville, New York, Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m.
W3OC.
Amateur radio station DL0DM recently finished celebrating 2 anniversaries in December. The club's 75th year as a radio licensee and its 35th year of operating from its home at the Deutsches Museum in Munich. Now the ham radio station is getting ready for another celebration, the centennial of the museum, one of the world's major showcases of science and technology. Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, gives us details.
The Amateur Radio Club at Munich's Deutsches Museum is putting the call-sign DL100DM on the air throughout 2025. The museum is marking its 100th anniversary, a time particularly for amateurs to remember its long-standing connection to radio. Even before the Ham Radio Club had established a permanent presence there, the museum was proudly featuring a 100-watt shortwave transmitter built by a student in 1938, which CW operators would occasionally put on the air. The transmitter is still at the museum and on view in the electronics exhibition area. The club station, however, isn't simply a part of the museum's exhibit and its daily demonstrations, It's a major part of the centennial celebration. Listen out all this year for their special call. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
The changing nature of challenges facing DXpeditioners is getting a closer look at the upcoming International DX Convention, as we hear from Ralph Squilacci, KK6ITB.
Organizers of the International DX Convention are calling the opening day program on Friday, April 11th, a first-of-its-kind event. It's a full day of discussions devoted to solving problems that have emerged as some top DX entities grow more expensive, more restrictive, and more risky. Although new approaches such as remotely controlled stations have been employed for successful activations, DXers are seeking even more creative solutions. The one-day program will take place on the first day of the three-day convention at the Visalia Conference Center in Visalia, California, and will bring demonstrations and guest speakers into the spotlight. The topics will be of particular interest to DXers, DXpeditioners, and contest station designers, and any other hams hoping to sharpen their DXCC scores. Registration for the conference has already opened. The conference itself concludes on the 13th of April. This is Ralph Squilacci, KK6ITB.
A year-long special event is underway to celebrate the railways that serve Britain. Jeremy Booth, G4NJH, gives us those details.
Train enthusiasts credit the modern railways with helping Britain's identity take shape over the decades. The British Railways Amateur Radio Society, G4LMR, has amplified that message on the air since it was formed in 1966 by a handful of railwaymen who were also amateur radio operators. Now its membership includes any amateurs with an interest in the railways. A busy and active society with a full event calendar, the group is hosting a year-long special event station, GB0LMR, to promote the message of celebration and mark 200 years of modern railway service. The station is on the air from January to the end of 2025. If you have an interest in trains or just in history, this is just the ticket. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
In the world of DX, special event station CS2025HNY is on the air from Portugal through to the 7th of January. Be listening on various HF bands for operators from the National Association of Portuguese Radio Amateurs, QSL via CT1REP. Terry, GM3WUX, will be marking the bicentenary of the development of the Braille system for the blind and vision impaired by activating the special call sign GB200LB. Find Terry on the air from the 4th through to the 31st of January, mainly using CW. CQRZ.com for more details. The South African Radio League is marking its 100 years anniversary with a special event call sign ZS100SARL for its Marathon QSO party that began on the 1st of January and runs through to the 31st of December. CQRZ.com for details. Herald BF2WO will return to Rwanda as 9X2AW and be on the air from the 27th of January through to the 15th of February. Listen for him operating holiday style on 10 through 160 meters. He'll also be making contacts via the QO100 satellite. CQRZ.com for QSL details. Listen for Singapore Radio Amateurs call signs featuring the special prefix S60 in celebration of the 60th anniversary of Singapore becoming an independent republic. Members of the Singapore Amateur Radio Transmitting Society are using the special prefix instead of the standard 9V1 prefix through the 9th of August, which is the actual anniversary date. The Czech DXpedition group will be using the call sign C8K from Mozambique from the 17th of January through to the 2nd of February. Find them on 160 through 6 meters and by way of QO100 satellite. They'll be using CW, SSB, FT8, and RIDI. CQRZ.com for QSL details. Newsline marked 2024 as its second year of the Ham Radio Haiku Challenge. We've been impressed with what our listeners have come up with. Kevin Trotman, N5PRE, is here to tell us about this year's winner, whose haiku was featured earlier this year on our website. He'll share it now to close out this week's newscast.
The haiku submitted by Ray Cheist, KB2ZOB of Cream Ridge, New Jersey, was featured on our website on the 18th of October. The haiku addresses the life-saving role ham radio often plays. Here's what he wrote. Muddy nighttime search. Head-lamped men with radios. Finally rescued. We congratulate Ray on this winning haiku and encourage our listeners anywhere in the world to submit their own creations at the website following the traditional haiku form. Visit arnewsline.org and look for the Ham Radio Haiku link at the right-hand end of the title bar. We look forward to another year of you exercising your poetic license as well as your ham radio license. This is Kevin Trotman, N5PRE.
With thanks to the Amateur Radio Daily, AMSAT News Service, British Railways Amateur Radio Society, Cape Gazette, CQDX Marathon, David Bayer, K7DB, Deutsches Museum, Forbes.com, 425DX News, DXConvention.com, Handyham, NASA, QRZ.com, RadioWorld.com, ShortWaveRadio.de, Wireless Institute of Australia, YouTube, and you, our listeners, that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Jim Dameron, NATMW in Charleston, West Virginia, saying 73, and Happy New Year. As always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2025, all rights reserved.
Okay, this W3OC. That concludes this week's Newsline transmission. I don't have any more announcements or anything at the moment. I'll take a standby. Anybody else wish to check in, call now. Okay, Kilo Charlie 3 Lima Philadelphia. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, I'm going to close the net at this hour. It's coming up on 8:39 p.m. 01:39 UTC or Zulu time. Take your choice. I count 23 check-ins on the list here. Thank everybody who did check in this evening. I hope everybody has a good week. Hopefully we're not going to get affected too bad with all this snow crap going on, I guess. And with that, I'm going to turn the repeater bridge for General Massachusetts. W3OC, known as W3ON. Closing the two rivers, that takes